Did you know that some of these cults are still active today? We're going to take a dive into this world and check out the top 10 horrifying cults that still exist in 2023. Starting off our list at number 10 is the business-oriented Church of Bible Understanding. The cult was founded in 1976 by a man named Stuart Trail, who had the intention to teach a new form of evangelical Christianity, but ultimately ended up turning it into a money-making scam. Trail operated various businesses over the years, including a carpet cleaning service, used car dealer, and an old antique store that he used to recruit his customers to his church. Trail's businesses must have been pretty successful because at its peak, it was believed that the Church of Bible Understanding had over 10,000 members. However, it would have been safe to assume that none of those members who were supposedly learning about evangelical Christianity knew what Trail was doing with their money. As it turns out, Trail had been using his businesses to swindle members out of their hard-earned cash by claiming he was reinvesting it into the church, when in fact, he was just using it to line his own pockets by not paying taxes. Trail passed away in 2018, but his legacy still lives on today, as a few hundred members are still operating the Church of Bible Understanding to this very day, although it is not known which businesses they have created this time around to help steal money from unsuspecting followers. At number 9 is the Remnant Fellowship Church, another terrible money-making scheme that used other methods to trick people into supporting them financially. The church was founded in 1999 by author Gwen Shamblin Lara, who wrote the book The Way Down Diet. The book, which helped with weight loss and taught people to turn their love of food into a love of God, was a commercial success, selling 1.2 million copies worldwide. This led Shamblin to create her own church after basically convincing 1.2 million overeaters that a love of God meant give me money. People really seemed to believe that the church was actually helping them, as many new members joined and donated millions of dollars to the church, which mostly went into Shamblin's pockets. Aside from the fact that they were recruiting cultists through published dietary books, Shamblin and the church were also met with other scandals and accusations, including physical and sexual abuse that were documented in the HBO series The Way Down: God, Greed, and the Cult of Gwen Shamblin. Shamblin sadly passed away in a plane crash in 2021, but the cult is still active to this day. At number 8 is the bizarre Happy Science Tribe. This strange group, which was founded by Japanese businessman Ryuo Ikawa, worships a strange higher being called El Cantare, who is said to be over 300 million years old and has reincarnated millions of times, taking the form of many different important figures through time. Of course, Okawa himself now claims that he is the current reincarnation of El Cantare and that everyone must follow his lead, thus leading to the founding of the Happy Science Tribe. The members of the cult attend various seminars and meetings with the hopes of climbing the cult's social ladder and becoming closer to El Cantare through the teachings of Okawa. The cult also believes that all of the world's pandemics can be cured with spiritual vaccines that are administered by El Cantare or Okawa himself. We can only imagine what this process could be like. The cult has actually created various propaganda films and anime shorts to attract new members, and apparently it's working, as the Happy Science Tribe claims to have over 10 million active members today. At number 7 is the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This creepy cult actually started as a spin-off to the original Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints when that group decided to ban polygamy. This caused Reuben Jeffs, who was a member of the old church, to start his own cult in retaliation to the decision. He did not want to give up having multiple wives and managed to recruit even more people from the original church who felt the same way as him. Jeffs managed to grow the cult and recruit more members, all while having up to 20 wives and 60 children. Reuben Jeffs eventually passed away and handed the reins of the cult off to one of his sons, Warren Jeffs. Warren has been met with plenty of backlash over the years and was even listed on the FBI's most wanted list for underage marriage and sex crimes. He was ultimately arrested and sentenced to life in prison for various charges that he faced related to the same allegations. While many would have assumed that the leader being ordered to live the rest of his life in prison would have seen the cult come to an end, it is still active to this day, with Jeff still leading the few followers he has left from prison. Now at number 6 we have the South Korean-based Unified Unification Church. This strange cult was founded many years ago by Dr. Sun Hyung Moon, a successful businessman turned reverend who had the aim to unify the masses through marriage. While that may not sound all too crazy, Moon did attract a lot of attention by considering himself the second coming of Jesus Christ in his book, The Divine Principle, which informs the beliefs of the Unification Church and serves as their holy Bible. The church is well known for hosting its mass wedding events, where hundreds of people would gather in assembly and find marriage partners, as Reverend Moon believed that this was the goal of Jesus Christ that he had to complete with his many followers. Many important religious figures would dismiss Moon's claims and say that his views on Christianity were completely false and that his members were being misguided into a religious cult. While Reverend Moon passed away in 2012, the cult is still very active today and has expanded internationally and has an especially strong following in Japan. A Japanese cabinet minister even had to resign just recently after revealing that he was associated with the cult. In at number 5 are the Doomsday Predictors from the House of Yahweh. This cult was founded by Bill Hawkins, who along with his brother believed that they had been sent to earth by Jesus Christ himself to prepare people for the second coming. The church picked up many followers during its early years in the 1980s by writing about their Nostradamus-like prophecies that attracted the attention of many others who were convinced that the end of the world was near. Hawkins and his brother had predicted the end of the world and the second coming of their Lord and Savior on many occasions, but each time they had gotten it wrong. This did not seem to deter anyone from joining the strange cult though, as it continued to grow in size and gain popularity as more people read the books written by Hawkins. The church did witness most of its downfall after many members were charged with assault, but it is still active with a small group of followers to this day. It was also reported that Hawkins passed away in late 2021, but there is still no concrete proof of this or his final resting place, only adding to his legend and the legacy of the cult. At number 4 we have Raelism. The followers of this cult have been taught that humans are the creations of an alien life form and are currently living in the age of the apocalypse. Founder Claude Verillum, or as he and his followers call him, Rael, has instructed his followers that they must work to repair the earth and achieve world peace in order for the aliens to return and bring us to the promised land. Like most of the cults on this list, Raelists have landed themselves in some hot water over the years for various sex-related crimes, but they have also attracted attention for their supposed scientific achievements by claiming to have accomplished some bizarre experiments. Their most infamous claim was that they had successfully cloned a human girl named Eve, even though they had no proof to back it up. So even though this experiment had no factual proof, it brought many new followers to the cult who believe that aliens have granted Rael with supreme intelligence that must be used to return the human race to the promised land. While there doesn't seem to be any sign of a trip away from Earth for the cultists anytime soon, this cult is still very active today and boasts a surprisingly high number of members who still follow Rael. At number 3 is the Nuwaubian Nation, a black supremacist cult that believes in one dominant race. Originally founded by Dwight York, the cult became quite famous for fusing different religions like Islamic theory and Kemetism together to create this newfound religious group. He combined parts of the religions together to create what he claimed would be the dominant black religion and race. While many followers respected York and followed his beliefs and teachings, York clearly had other intentions and reasons for creating this crazy cult. York implemented a strange rule that stated that his followers could only engage in sexual intercourse once a month by appointment only, but York himself was exempt from this rule. This meant that York engaged in sexual relations with hundreds of his members, and he was eventually arrested and charged with over 100 counts of various sex-related crimes. While York is now serving a life sentence in prison, he still has some loyal followers running the cult on his behalf and praying for his release from his life sentence. Number 2 is the Japanese cult known as Aum Shinrikyo. This crazy cult, which loosely translates to Aum Supreme Truth in English, was founded by a man named Shoko Asahara, who on numerous occasions claimed that he was Jesus Christ himself and the Lamb of God. He created the cult with the goal of cleansing the world of its sins and in turn committed some pretty deadly terrorist attacks that were fueled by his twisted ideologies. Aum Shinrikyo was responsible for the infamous 1995 Tokyo sarin subway attacks, in which cultists aimed sarin at passing trains, which took the lives of more than a dozen people and injured more than 1,000 others. Asahara claimed responsibility and was put on trial for the attack, where he, along with his followers who also took part in the attack, received capital punishment. While the death of their leader and founder might have hurt the cult, it did not completely put a stop to them, as they are still active to this day, carrying out deadly attacks in Japan that have many living on edge. And last but not least, at number 1 is the Order of the Solar Temple. This bizarre cult creation was heavily influenced by the Knights Templar, a military order of Catholic faith that looked to defend their religion. The Order of the Solar Temple, however, put a great twist on defending their religion, and instead decided that the Earth was doomed and they needed to ascend to a higher place. An integral part of the teachings of the Solar Temple was that the Earth would face a massive catastrophe in the mid-1990s that could potentially see the end of the world. With the cult and its members believing this philosophy, a total of 53 of the cultists spread across Canada and Switzerland took it upon themselves to take their own lives at the same time on October 4th and 5th, 1994, to ascend to their new world. The following year, even more members decided to take their own lives, as they still believed that the end of the world was imminent and they needed to flee to the Promised Land. While many of the remaining members left the cult after that prophecy did not come true, some loyal members have still stuck around to this day as they await the next prophecy predicting the end of time. Well, this list has definitely proven that some people just won't go down without a fight, as these 10 crazy cults don't seem to be disbanding anytime soon. Which one of these cults shocked you the most? Give us your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like and follow for more top 10 countdowns.